Some people seem mature beyond their age. They're calm when others panic. They handle pain quietly. They never ask for help. And they always seem to have it together. People look at them and think, but they're so strong, so responsible, so wise. But psychology says something different. That maturity wasn't a gift. It was a wound. Growing up too fast doesn't happen by choice. It happens when a child's environment forces adult responsibilities onto a mind that wasn't ready. Maybe there was trauma. Maybe a parent was absent, physically or emotionally. Maybe they had to become the caretaker, the peacemaker, the one who kept everything from falling apart. And somewhere in that process, they stopped being a child. Here is what psychology reveals about people who grew up too fast, and what it quietly does to them for the rest of their lives. Number 1. They never learned how to ask for help. As children, they quickly understood that no one was coming to save them. So they stopped waiting. They figured things out alone. They carried problems in silence. Psychology calls this compulsive self-reliance, a pattern where asking for support feels dangerous, weak, or simply pointless. Even as adults, when they are drowning, they will smile and say they're fine. Number 2. They are always waiting for something to go wrong. Growing up in an unstable environment trained their nervous system to stay on alert, always scanning, always preparing for the next crisis. Psychologists call this hypervigilance, and it doesn't turn off when life gets better. So even in peaceful moments, they feel uneasy. Even in safe relationships, they brace for abandonment. Their mind learned early that calm never lasts. Number 3. They struggle deeply with receiving love. They give without limits. They show up for everyone. But when someone tries to care for them in return, they don't know what to do with it. Psychology links this to attachment disruption. When early caregiving experiences were inconsistent or absent, the brain learns that love comes with conditions, or that it eventually disappears. So they keep people at a careful distance. Not out of coldness, out of old, unhealed fear. Number 4. They feel emotions that have no name. As children, they were never taught to process what they felt. There was no space for it. So, they buried it. But buried emotions don't disappear. Psychology shows they resurface later as chronic anxiety, emotional numbness, or sudden waves of grief that seem to come from nowhere. They might not even know why they feel heavy. They just do. They always do. Number 5. They are deeply empathetic and deeply exhausted by it. Because they spent their childhood reading the emotions of adults around them, sensing tension, managing moods, trying to keep the peace, they became incredibly sensitive to how others feel. Psychologists describe this as emotional hyperempathy. They feel everything, not just their own pain, but everyone else's too. It makes them extraordinary at understanding people, and quietly unbearable to carry. Number 6. Somewhere inside, they are still grieving a childhood they never had. They might not talk about it. They might not even consciously know it. But psychology shows that unprocessed childhood loss leaves a quiet ache that follows people into adulthood. It shows up as a strange longing for softness, for playfulness, for a version of life that felt light. They built an entire adult life. But part of them is still a child sitting alone, wondering why no one came. Growing up too fast isn't something you choose. It's something life does to you before you're old enough to understand it. And the people who carry this, they are not broken. They are not damaged. They are some of the most emotionally intelligent, deeply aware, quietly powerful people you will never meet. But they deserve more than strength. They deserve rest. They deserve softness. They deserve someone who finally asks, "How are you, really?" If this felt like your story, psychology says healing is possible. Not by forgetting what happened, but by slowly learning that you are safe now, that you are allowed to need people, that you don't have to carry everything alone anymore. If you want to understand psychology behind the way people think, feel, and survive, subscribe. Because on this channel, we don't just explain behavior. We understand the story behind it.